Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of the Prodicast podcast for the company Prodisphere. I am here with the founders, Ebose and Mehul. How are you guys doing today, man? Are you guys happy to be here? It's finally pilot episode. We've been talking about this for a while, posting about it on socials. Glad to have you here in the studio. How's your guys' day going, man?
Well, we're doing pretty good. Thank you so much, Luka. We're really excited. We've been talking about this, like you said, for a while, and it's a dream to finally get this started, get people to hear about, who we are, what we're doing, and have other athletes hopefully come on here.
Absolutely, man. I hope you guys are just as nervous as I am. Never done anything like this in person, but we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it. Yeah, man, we're gonna keep it pushing. So obviously, your name, where are you from, and just what is a moment in sport that will sit with you forever? We got to get icebreakers going. The people need to know what club you support, sadly. But, it's fine. We'll let it slide.
We were supposed to leave rivalries outside.
Listen, bro. We're going to be talking.
The viewers don't even know what teams.
Exactly. But they gotta know. It's a sport.
They see a shirt. They can already have some ideas already.
Because I don't have one of those. If I had one of those, I wouldn't be repping this one. So, we got to work that out.
Soon, you're going to get yours.
Hopefully so. So, yeah, just go ahead and tell me your name, where you from, man, and what club do you support?
Okay, so thanks, Luka, again. My name is Ebose and I'm really honored and I'm pleasured to really be one of the co-founders here at Prodisphere. And as you already alluded to, I support Manchester United, the greatest club in England. Thank you very much.
Debatable. Now, go ahead. What's your name? Where are you from?
Thanks, Luka. I appreciate you kind of curating this, kind of hosting all of this. It's been a long time coming. So we've been thinking about this for months. I think we're talking to Amen, talking to the rest of the team. Right. But we're putting it together finally. So my name is Mehul Patel. Born and raised in Zimbabwe. Came to the US in 2016. And kind of went to UCF and now met Ebose and now we're co-founding Prodisphere. It's an exciting time. It's a very, very, just the right time to kind of co-found such a sport tech company, especially in the NIL space. Mm-hmm. So we're very excited for it. Yeah. And my favorite team, well, it's the one and only Arsenal, right?
Come on. Gunners, come on. No, absolutely. No, but thank you guys again for being here. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to even do anything like this. I'm really happy to have you guys talk about, just you guys, your story and what Prodisphere has to offer, and what the company is. I'm going to go ahead and start with, because I asked you your name first. I'm going to go ahead and ask my brother, my Ghana. What was the moment in sport? Yeah, just a little bit. If you couldn't tell.
Bias has started.
Absolutely. So what was the moment in sport for you personally, right? It could be Arsenal, but it doesn't have to be Arsenal. It could really be anything, but that will sit with you forever, whether it was something that happened to you, something that you watched and that you saw specifically. Just go ahead and tell us.
Yeah, so I would say where I kind of realized I had a big passion for sports was when I was playing in high school, and it was a sad story where I broke my leg playing the sport, but I was actually playing on the Zimbabwean team against another country. So we were putting our all on the line. Yeah. And at that point in time, I was just playing, it was field hockey. I was playing that for a few years, kind of got to that stage of, when you're in that phase, when you're in that moment, you're just like, what's the next phase? What's the next phase? You're not really enjoying the sport. Yeah. When I started realizing I really enjoyed the sport was when I broke my leg playing that game. And then I wasn't able to play for the rest of the year. And I was like, I miss this. Yeah. It hit me hard when I was like, I needed sport in my life. Yeah. I couldn't do without it. That was the turning moment for me to be like, I really enjoy sport, not just the act of playing it, but being involved with the teammates, the whole scene that creates essentially.
No, absolutely. No, I 100% agree. I've never played field hockey myself personally, but it's first of all just any moment in sport like that. I grew up playing soccer. Just any team moment. I had a teammate who he tore his ACL in the game. Mind you, we were 14. We were all just whoa. Yeah, we were whoa, this is crazy. The idea of not being able to play that sport. It's you don't take it for granted. But the thought of not being able to play it doesn't really doesn't think about it.
You don't think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Both say, what's one for you?
For me, that's a good one. I know before.
Yeah, how do you follow that up?
Yeah, before that's very hard to follow up. Yeah. But before we started recording, I had mentioned, of course, Manchester United's Champions League win. But I think I can definitely call on another one for me. It's the first day I kind of realized that, I want to play sports. Is 2006 World Cup final, Italy versus France.
Yeah.
The moment Zidane headbutts Materazzi, I think, I was like, what passion would commit someone to do this?
How sick do you have to be? How crazy? Like,
I was what, 7, 8 years old then, and I was like, what passion would really drive you in the middle of, like, you know, the most important game of your life to do something like in front of the world? Like, I want to like be on that type of stage.
Exactly.
So since that moment, I was like, yeah, I want to be a soccer player.
No, absolutely not.
I want to play.
No, absolutely, man. And it's the moments like that, you know, that I feel like shapes your sports experience, shapes your sports experience, and it shapes, you know, the athlete sports experience that we obviously here at Prodisphere are hoping, you know, to bring up, you know, bring to light, you know, because there's a lot more to the athlete that goes into it than just what you see on the field and all that other stuff, you know. So, just that, I think that's a really good point to go into just your inspirations, you know, behind creating the company. So, obviously, this platform is, I feel like, me personally, you know, but no bias. There's a platform is definitely something that there is a need for.
Right.
Like you said, it's like data analytics, you know, just really just being able to, one of the key like points of the company, you know, is to embrace potential, right?
Yeah,
embrace
correct.
potential. So there are so many athletes over there, you know, all over the world, you know, from different countries, different backgrounds, you know, who never get the chance to showcase what they really truly are capable of, you know, because they just don't simply have the opportunity.
Exactly.
You know, they don't really have the eyes on them. You know, sadly, if they're not in Europe, you know, it's hard. You know, and you know, all of us being from Africa, you know, where it's like one of those countries to where at times, you know, people forget. You know, like when Morocco made that run in the World Cup, it was unbelievable. You know, it ignited a continent. You know, not just a nation.
Ghana did it in the 2010 World Cup.
Exactly. You know, and then in South Africa in 2010 as well. You know, that whole when they scored the first goal, when they scored the goal, and did the whole little. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
That's probably my most memorable World Cup there.
Exactly.
2010 World Cup.
That was a madness, bro. It was mad.
The crazy World Cup.
Exactly. So and then to further, you know, carry that point, only 3.7% of athletes get the opportunity to play even at the collegiate level here in the United States.
Exactly.
And even fewer of them go further. So we've all heard a story or have all seen a college athlete who was really supposed to make that jump, you know, to the next level. Like, bro, Edu for the United States, that 14-year-old, that man, bro, he was supposed to be a baller.
He was
supposed to be nasty, you know? So, like, it's very common, and it's not something that is just, it's not something that we don't see often, you know? Especially now in the age of wonder kids, like Lamine Yamal, Pedri, all these kids, you know? Like, there's a lot of...
Pedri's name has fallen off now, and then
bro,
there's a new kid on the block.
Next one. Yeah, they're like, next one, bro. Yeah, you were cool, bro. Step aside.
Next man up.
Like, they don't care, you know? So,
Mbappe is old news now.
Yeah,
it's old
bro,
now.
Right?
Now we're over. Yamal is the one.
Exactly, bro. His dad literally said, "Oh, how do you know that Yamal didn't bless Messi with the ability to play good?" He said that. I'm not even kidding, bro.
See, that's the type of confidence you need in yourself. That's why when Yamal plays, you can see that like he walks and struts like that. Yeah,
exactly.
That's good.
Exactly. So now I know what the company does for someone. I know what the company does for someone who, because I've been blessed to work on this project, you know. It really is a movement more than anything, you know. But for someone who has never heard of Prodisphere, they don't know anything about the company, don't know anything about sports, you know, how would you describe it to somebody? Either one of you, whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, so I think let's take a back step and kind of give you more of a backstory on how we came up with the idea, and then more about what the company actually does.
Of course.
So, like you mentioned, a lot of like those stats that you mentioned, it's insane how many athletes don't make it to the next level.
Yeah.
And we were those athletes, to be honest.
Yeah.
Myself with golf and Ebose with football and basketball, like we were playing at pretty high levels and we were trying to progress to that next level. I'll speak for myself and then Ebose can continue as well. But when I was playing golf, I was trying to get a scholarship on D1, come to the US, kind of do that entire route. Came here, quickly realized that doing aerospace engineering and mechanical engineering plus doing a D1 sport is not really possible. Like the coach even came to me and was like, yo, like it's either one or the other. I had to make that pivot because I wanted long-term longevity into the US and made the pivot into engineering, and the sports fell to the side. Now I could have, if I was able to fund my way through college and not have to pivot, maybe golf could have been I could have been on the PGA Tour, to be honest.
And like that, okay.
And I think Ebose could have been in the same spot, right? But we wanted to pivot and went into engineering, and that's kind of what sparked what kept us going, myself, like I still watch sports on a daily. And then we have this analytical background from engineering. So we're like, let's put 2 and 2 together and create Prodisphere. Mm-hmm. So that was more my side, but I'll let Ebose kind of speak to his as well.
And funny enough, myself and Mehul here, we have the same like backstory. And that's why I think we kind of merge so well, yin and yang type of effect, where it kind of works for both of us. But we both came like with the same intention, like, okay, we're coming from Africa, Nigeria, and then Zimbabwe for him. We can go great athletes back home. And we thought, all right, let's just come put ourselves over here and we're going to slide right in. But of course, you're not aware of like...
Wake-up call.
Yeah, big wake-up call. When you come here and you see like the talent that is in America, like what the competition has been doing that you were not just aware is even a possibility because of, I mean, we know where we come from, like the disadvantages I kid you not, I did not see a weight room until I came to UC. Weight room.
That's real, bro. That's mad.
Weight room.
That just humble beginnings.
My high school did not have a weight room, so we had to like use cement to make like our own makeshift weights if we wanted to. Yeah, so like that's the type of like disadvantage I'm talking about. Like even the equipment we had. Our basketball coach, we had a new one every year. I had a new one every year. So, you know, like little things like that, disadvantages that you may not like be aware of. I mean, everyone has some disadvantage, but definitely if you're aware of the good things that are out there and the ways to improve, you can at least put in that work. And eventually, though, when we came here and realized that, all right, well, kind of way past like trying to put in that work, we had to make a choice. Either keep trying to play, or pivots. Now we're pretty ambitious, but like at the same time, you have to be realistic. We have to understand that like we cannot like keep trying. We have to make sure we are successful in something. So we went and graduated still as engineers, but our passion and our love for sports like just kept us coming back. And trying to come back and find our way in, we decided to mix our, you know, educational passion that we also have with our sports passion. And that's what brought Prodisphere.
So how does that embody Prodisphere? What is Prodisphere?
Prodisphere, go on.
So I mean, essentially Prodisphere, we're here to empower every athlete. Our goal is to unlock the true value in every athlete from a monetary standpoint as well as from a performance standpoint. So we want to figure out if this athlete, say John, is he worth, when he plays soccer, is he worth $30,000, $40,000? How much is he worth? And as well, if we place him in a certain position on the field, where does he fit best? And where does he kind of gravitate towards? And how can he mold as a player? Now, we're going to tailor this to collegiate athletes at first, but even go to high school athletes and figure out if they can't get monetized, how can they get into a scholarship? How can they get into D1? How can they get into the dream college they want to? By analyzing their data. So we're a data-driven company, and we kind of help the athletes understand their data.
Can you elaborate on that for someone who wouldn't understand data-driven company? So what exactly is it what data is it exactly? Like what are the tools?
What does it mean? I'll let Ebose kind of handle that one.
So why we say data-driven is we wanted to remove some of the bias that's so common in sports. Like when an athlete is being analyzed or is being like evaluated, of course, people have their own bias. Coaches, agents may have their own predetermined bias when they're looking at a player. And to take away some of that, we know that there are performance stats that are available on these players, metrics that are out there, marketability metrics, performance stats, that focus on what a specific player has done themselves, trying to focus on their own performance on the field and off the field, because it's not just taking into account what you do on the field nowadays when it comes to valuation. Your social media matters. You need to be a marketable person nowadays for you to be as valuable, to maximize your valuation. Now, of course, you can be great on the field, but you cannot just be as great, you cannot earn as much. Take Messi and Ronaldo, for example. Ronaldo is amazing marketability-wise, and he can match that up with his skill on the field too. Messi might not just, care as much for the marketability side of things, but he's still pretty good on the field. And you still be valued high. So we're trying to take away those bias, look at when we say data, we're looking at a player's performance, what the player has done, and taking a look at each individual player and giving them a rating as well as evaluation. How much are you worth and how much do you stand in the market today?
No, absolutely. And as being someone who has played soccer competitively, my career was not as successful as you guys. I 16, I was like, all right, bro, I'm done. I play video game, I'm cool, you know. So, but I do know exactly firsthand, especially here in the States, you know, how competitive it is at such a young age, how high levels it can get. I mean, me and my both my brothers played soccer as well. We were traveling from Lakeland, Florida to Boca Raton to Miami to Tallahassee just to play these games. And mind you, it was my parents' money. You know, it was like brother, like if you not playing, you know, you know, should we keep doing this? You know, exactly. So it's a lot deeper, like you said, than just obviously what they do on the field. It's all about social media, and even in recent times, bro, we saw Enzo Fernandez after the World Cup. That man was moving mad. Exactly. He was wilding, you know. So and so is from what I'm understanding, is the main sport as of right now, is it soccer? Are we trying? I'm assuming we're gonna branch whatever happens, you know, with it. So and I think that there is a market for this, especially with soccer being the most. It's considered the world's game, you know, the World Cup. 155 countries in the world consider soccer as the absolute number one sport. And a big thing about that as well, which is very crazy, coming from, you know, our backgrounds in Africa, soccer is known as one of those sports that is so easy to play because it's so easy. It's not expensive.
Accessible.
It's so accessible.
We're playing on the road, you know.
That's what I'm saying, like, bro.
Put some stones.
Yeah, what's in cans, bro? Like that's
right.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's funny because in here, right, in the U.S. It's at average cost, right? It's about 150 euros, which equals to 165 USD. But as of 2017, right, time recorded, the average family spent $1,472 putting their kid just into youth soccer.
Wow.
So I think that what you guys are talking about, just making the player, just giving them that spotlight, giving them that ability to showcase, you know, is such a key point. And I just want to know, just hearing from both of your backgrounds, like what inspired you to make something like this? Like, you know, just what is really the driving factor? What motivates you to keep going? Like you said, you know, like what really requires you to dig deep, knowing that you guys, like you said, had to pivot because originally it was your dream to be on the field, you know, but now it's like you don't have that, you know, you don't have that ability. You know, you have your whole lives ahead of you. You know, what drives you guys to keep going?
Ooh.
For me, it's impact, right? Like, my goal is to make an impact of at least 1 million people in the world by, like, the next 3-4 years. And if I can impact 1 million players, that's my kind of impact taken care of in that sense. Now, we don't want just 1 million. We want a lot more players. There's a lot more players globally that play soccer and play other sports. And we want as many people as we can to get impacted by this. And what we mean by that is, if we're impacting the player, we're impacting the parents. You mentioned... Parents are paying about $1,500 to put students to youth soccer, right? Yeah. Now imagine if the parent sees we get the child's data, right, for example, and we say, hey, sir, ma'am, your kid is worth $50,000 as a soccer player right now, or even less, as $10,000. Yeah. They can see directly that $1,500 return on investment of pouring into that kid immediately, like this from data. So if we can showcase that to parents, how much more would parents spend? Yeah. How much more would they give to their kid? How much more developed would that kid be by the time it gets to the right level? So us doing our work in the beginning to kind of showcase this data to them helps a kid, helps 2 parents. That's 3 people impacted. Yeah. And we do this multiple times. Yeah. That's millions and millions of people. Yeah. So that's what kind of keeps me going each time. And I didn't have that opportunity, so I was like, if I have the brains to kind of give the analytics, let's kind of work with that, and if we can build a company around that and sustain, like, we don't want the athletes to be thinking about this. We want them to focus on the sport. Let us focus on the rest of this stuff. Yeah. And kind of help them through it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You need to add to that.
To go on with that is really to prevent people from going through the same things we did.
Yes.
Like learning, that's all you want. Yeah. Like we've learned from our mistakes. We've learned from what has happened. So why don't we prevent like the same things from happening? It would be great if we can start from the one athlete, then to parents. Like I know how much my parents spent on 3 kids in sports. Your parents 2 kids in sports. I'm
stressing just thinking about it, bro. It's not my money. It's not even my money, bro.
So imagine how much you'll be able to alleviate some of their stress. I mean, of course, it is not your responsibility as a child, but if you are blessed with this talent, why not you use it for something good? Like, and that's really all we can hope to do.
Absolutely. So what do you think separates you guys, Prodisphere, apart from any other company trying to do the same thing, or even try to emulate even a bit what you guys are doing? Why do you guys think you're different?
We're athlete focused. we're athletes building a data-driven platform for athletes. Like, we understand what pains the athlete went through, and we're developing directly for those pains. When it comes to analyzing their data, we're technically rocket scientists. So we understand what it takes to kind of develop that data and kind of take it to that next level and figure out what the true value of that athlete is. So we're putting together a great team right now. We have a team, I think on the data science team, we have one PhD individual. We have someone that's like doing their master's in data science. We have a whole tech team. We have basically onboarding advisors. So we have a massive team that we're growing that's going to help us to get to that vision. And the reason why we're better is because everyone that's on our team is aligned on the mission. Everyone has that athletic background, and they've been through that, and they've kind of understood the deeper meaning behind giving an athlete a valuation. And not many other companies or even competitors out there have that. They just get anyone and build something that is mediocre. But we're trying to make an impact, and that's kind of what sets us apart.
And you keep mentioning the data, you know, and I feel like that's very obvious. You guys said, you are a data-driven company. You know, like what edge do you feel like, you know, how are we getting this data? I'm just break it down for me, because I personally don't know, and I'm assuming the people who are listening and watching would also be at least a little bit interested. You obviously talk about what you can.
Right.
You can't
give all our secrets.
Give all the secrets. Exactly. You know, obviously, you know, but like what exactly, like what kind of data are we talking about? Is it like touches in a match, or is it like goal percentage or like expected goals? Like what exactly is it?
And of course, like I'll use the old saying, a magician is never going to reveal his tricks.
Yes.
But to say like the little bit on what we can say about that is we're really using a lot of publicly available information from trusted sources. So if you think about the NCAA is a trusted source, their school websites. So data that's publicly available that these athletes can go and confirm themselves that this is right. Publicly information that is available to anyone else that to go and confirm as well. So we know that we're not just making up random stats for players.
It's a verified data.
Verified data.
No.
And not to go deep into detail on like the specific metrics we're looking at, but we have broken down all of the areas into 4 specific sections. So we're looking at performance, like I said, we're looking at the marketability, we're looking at the level these athletes play at, of course, and then of course we also want to look at like their education background to know like that's important. They're still in school. They're college students.
Yes, facts.
As much as that like may not seem as important, we realize that a lot of like businesses, a lot of coaches, a lot of schools are looking at their education information as well.
Absolutely. No, that's amazing. You know, that as someone who is, like I said, played sports before, I know a lot of people here, especially at UCF, you know, it's a huge, big school right now, which was, thank you for UCF for allowing us to use this podcast facility first and foremost. But yeah, I know it's...
Knights.
Charge. Yes, sir, baby. Yes, sir. You know, we're in the Big 12 now. You know, we're working on being a big boy sports school. So, you know, it really is a beautiful thing. And I feel like the time is no better time than now, especially in the U.S. with the World Cup coming up. You know, the growth, the Copa America just being hosted here. You know, Christian Pulisic scored in the Champions League the other day, bro. So I think it's really great things. It's really great times here. If you guys just real quick from both of you, what can we expect from Prodisphere and the Prodicast going forward?
So I guess from Prodisphere itself is, like, I want to touch base more on the data side of things a little bit as well. When you mentioned, where do we get our data from?
Yes.
Like you mentioned, we're getting it from these verified sites, but we're also partnering up with universities, with academies, and pulling data from what they currently have. So right now we have 2 big universities in the pipeline. Once we sign contracts with them, we can disclose them. But at the current point in time, we want to partner up with as many universities as possible to kind of get our name out there. We'll work with them for free. We'll do all the back-end work for every university, every team that's on there, and provide these athletes with the right metrics that we need. We're, as I said, we're putting the athletes first, right? So we're going to do right by the athlete, get them their valuation, get them paid, and then we'll figure out how to do the rest after that. Absolutely. So that's kind of how we want to get our data, is partnering up with these universities as well as get the NCAA sites and other verified sites. But going forward with Prodisphere, the goal right now is to launch our MVP. We're in the MVP, so minimal viable product. So we're about to launch that in the next few weeks. Okay. So once that launches, we'll be onboarding said universities and kind of...
And pilot users that are interested too.
Any pilot users. So if there's any pilot users watching this and they want to be interested and kind of get their stats,
definitely reach out to us.
Yeah, and that's a good question real quick before we get out of here. What is this a platform? Is this an app? Like, explain the UI of it, the user interface. Like, how does an athlete, let's say someone's watching this and they're listening, like, you know what, I love this. This is great. It's something I could use. I want to sign up. How do they do that?
Yeah.
So easily, all the athletes right now will need to provide is their name, email, and just let us know what schools they represent. And additionally, when you get onboarded onto the platform, you have the ability to upload your own stats. But this platform is going to be available as a website, but there'll be apps available as well for Android and, of course, Apple iPhone as well. But importantly, to also add to that is we onboard players and as we are going to be providing a specific link in bio that they'll be able to attach to their current social media links.
Oh, that's good.
So this way, there's something we call a Prodisphere card, and this will give you snippets on your rating, your valuation, as well as your important stats. So this way, when an agent or a coach or maybe just anyone, a brand interested in a player, they can click on this link in your bio, see what your rating is like, see how much you're valued, and also see what stats actually bring this valuation.
Oh, that sounds super exciting. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's something that I definitely would love to tap into. I can't wait to see what you guys are bringing to the sports community. And just honestly, this just sounds like a tech user's paradise. Regardless, honestly, if you're like involved in sports, it's obviously one thing. But if you're just interested in this constantly evolving technological world, I think this is something that could definitely pique your interest and be involved in. So, thank you guys so much for your time today. It really has been a pleasure talking to both of you. It's honestly been an honor for me to even be here and host this. If you guys haven't already, please make sure you're following Prodisphere on all platforms. We got a YouTube. We're going to be having this on YouTube. Stay tuned for that one. We got Instagram. We have Twitter. We have LinkedIn. Of course, make sure you guys follow our guest Mehul and Ebose on LinkedIn on all platforms. And of course, like I said already, make sure to go follow us on Twitter. This has been the first episode of the Prodicast. This has been your host, Luka Costa. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace out, guys.
Thank you.